In the annals of military history, victory has traditionally been measured by the thunder of cannons, the precision of missiles, and the overwhelming force of conventional weaponry. Nations have invested billions in developing increasingly sophisticated arms, each more destructive than the last, believing that superior firepower would guarantee triumph on the battlefield. Yet, in the modern era of warfare, a revolutionary concept has emerged that challenges this fundamental assumption. What if the most powerful weapon in a nation's arsenal is not one that destroys, but one that prevents destruction altogether? What if true military superiority lies not in the ability to inflict maximum damage, but in the capacity to achieve strategic objectives without ever pulling a trigger? This is the story of Israel's invisible weapon that wins wars without firing a single shot. A deep dive into the most sophisticated and perhaps most misunderstood aspect of Israeli defense strategy. We will explore how a small nation, surrounded by adversaries and constantly under threat, has developed a military philosophy that transcends traditional warfare, leveraging intelligence, technology, and psychological operations to achieve victories that are as decisive as they are invisible to the outside world. Prepare to uncover the layers of strategic brilliance, the technological innovations, and the profound psychological impact of this invisible weapon, revealing how Israel has mastered the art of winning wars before they even begin. Demonstrating that in modern conflict, the most powerful force is often the one that remains unseen, yet shapes every outcome. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel right now for more incredible war secrets and the legendary military technologies that are reshaping the future of global defense. Israel's invisible weapon is not a single device or technology, but rather a comprehensive doctrine known as intelligence supremacy, combined with preemptive strategic operations. This approach represents a fundamental shift from reactive to proactive warfare, where conflicts are resolved through superior information gathering, precise targeting of key assets, and the systematic disruption of enemy capabilities before they can be deployed. The foundation of this invisible weapon lies in Israel's unparalleled intelligence apparatus, which includes the Mossad for foreign intelligence, Shin Bet for internal security, and Amman for military intelligence, working in seamless coordination. The genius of this system lies in its ability to identify and neutralize threats at their source, often years before they mature into actual dangers. Through a combination of human intelligence networks, advanced surveillance technologies, and cyber warfare capabilities, Israel can track the development of enemy weapons programs, monitor the movement of key personnel, and intercept communications that reveal strategic intentions. This intelligence is then used to conduct surgical strikes, sabotage operations, or diplomatic interventions that eliminate threats without the need for large-scale military confrontation. This invisible weapon operates on multiple levels simultaneously. At the tactical level, it involves the precise elimination of specific threats, such as weapons shipments or key terrorist operatives. At the strategic level, it encompasses broader operations designed to degrade an enemy's overall capabilities, such as disrupting supply chains, compromising communication networks, or creating internal divisions within hostile organizations. The beauty of this approach is that it often leaves adversaries unable to respond effectively, as they cannot retaliate against an attack they cannot fully understand or attribute. The development of Israel's invisible weapon can be traced back to the nation's founding principles and the unique challenges it faced from its inception. Surrounded by hostile neighbors and vastly outnumbered, Israel's early leaders recognized that conventional military strategies alone would not guarantee long-term survival. The country needed to develop asymmetric advantages that would allow it to defeat larger, better-equipped enemies through superior intelligence and strategic thinking rather than brute force. This philosophy was crystallized during the 1960s and 1970s, when Israel began investing heavily in intelligence capabilities and developing the doctrine of preemptive warfare. The success of operations like the destruction of the Iraqi nuclear reactor at Osirak in 1981 demonstrated the effectiveness of this approach, showing how a single, precisely executed strike could eliminate a strategic threat that might have required a full-scale war to address later. This operation became a template for future invisible weapon deployments, proving that superior intelligence and surgical precision could achieve strategic objectives with minimal risk and maximum impact. Over the decades, this invisible weapon has evolved to incorporate cutting-edge technologies, including cyber warfare capabilities, advanced surveillance systems, and sophisticated psychological operations. The integration of these elements has created a military doctrine that is uniquely suited to the challenges of modern warfare, where traditional boundaries between military and civilian targets have blurred, and where information can be as powerful as any physical weapon. The operational mechanics of Israel's invisible weapon involve a complex interplay of intelligence gathering, analysis, and action that operates on a continuous cycle. The process begins with comprehensive surveillance and intelligence collection, utilizing everything from human agents embedded in hostile organizations to advanced satellite imagery and signals intelligence. This information is then processed through sophisticated analytical frameworks that can identify patterns, predict future actions, and assess the potential impact of various intervention strategies. Once a threat is identified and analyzed, the invisible weapon deploys through carefully coordinated operations that are designed to achieve maximum impact with minimum visibility. These operations might involve cyber attacks that disable enemy communication systems, covert sabotage that destroys key infrastructure, or targeted eliminations that remove critical personnel from hostile organizations. The key to success lies in the precision and timing of these interventions, ensuring that they occur at moments when they will have the greatest strategic impact while minimizing the risk of escalation or retaliation. The psychological component of this invisible weapon cannot be understated. By demonstrating the ability to strike anywhere, anytime against any target, Israel creates a climate of uncertainty and fear among its adversaries. Enemy organizations must constantly worry about the security of their operations, the loyalty of their personnel, and the vulnerability of their assets. This psychological pressure often proves more effective than physical destruction, as it forces adversaries to divert resources from offensive operations to defensive measures, ultimately degrading their overall capabilities. The invisible weapon also incorporates sophisticated deception and disinformation campaigns designed to confuse and mislead adversaries. By controlling the flow of information and manipulating enemy perceptions, Israel can shape the strategic environment to its advantage, causing adversaries to make decisions based on false assumptions or incomplete information. This aspect of the invisible weapon demonstrates how information warfare has become as important as kinetic warfare in determining the outcome of modern conflicts. The effectiveness of Israel's invisible weapon has been demonstrated repeatedly throughout the nation's history, with numerous conflicts being resolved or prevented through its deployment. The ongoing campaign against Iran's nuclear program represents perhaps the most comprehensive example of this weapon in action, involving a multi-year effort that has included cyber attacks, targeted assassinations, sabotage operations, and diplomatic pressure designed to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons capability. The Stuxnet cyber attack, which targeted Iran's nuclear centrifuges, exemplifies the precision and effectiveness of the invisible weapon. This sophisticated piece of malware was designed to cause physical damage to Iran's nuclear infrastructure while remaining undetected for extended periods. The attack successfully set back Iran's nuclear program by several years without requiring any conventional military action, demonstrating how cyber warfare can achieve strategic objectives that would traditionally require massive military campaigns. Similarly, the systematic elimination of key figures in Iran's nuclear program through targeted assassinations has degraded the country's technical capabilities while sending a clear message about the consequences of pursuing nuclear weapons. These operations, while never officially acknowledged, have effectively decapitated Iran's nuclear leadership and created a climate of fear that has made it difficult to recruit and retain qualified personnel for the program. The invisible weapon has also been deployed against terrorist organizations, with operations designed to disrupt their command structures, eliminate key operatives, and degrade their operational capabilities. The precision of these operations, combined with their psychological impact, has proven far more effective than conventional military campaigns in neutralizing terrorist threats while minimizing civilian casualties and avoiding the political complications associated with large-scale military interventions. The strategic implications of Israel's invisible weapon extend far beyond its immediate tactical applications, fundamentally reshaping the nature of modern warfare and international relations. By demonstrating that strategic objectives can be achieved through precision operations rather than massive military campaigns, Israel has pioneered a new model of conflict that is increasingly being adopted by other nations facing similar challenges. This approach has proven particularly effective in the era of asymmetric warfare, where traditional military advantages may be less relevant than the ability to operate covertly and strike precisely. The invisible weapon allows smaller nations to compete effectively against larger adversaries by leveraging superior intelligence and technology rather than relying solely on conventional military strength. This has profound implications for global power dynamics, as it suggests that military effectiveness is increasingly determined by technological sophistication and strategic thinking rather than raw firepower. The success of Israel's invisible weapon has also influenced international law and diplomatic norms, raising complex questions about the legitimacy of preemptive action and covert operations. While controversial, these operations have generally been accepted by the international community when they can be justified as necessary for national survival, suggesting a growing recognition that traditional concepts of warfare may be inadequate for addressing modern security challenges. Furthermore, the invisible weapon has demonstrated the critical importance of intelligence cooperation and information sharing among allied nations. The complexity and scope of modern threats often require resources and capabilities that exceed what any single nation can provide, making international cooperation essential for effective deployment of invisible weapon strategies. This has led to the development of sophisticated intelligence sharing arrangements and joint operations that enhance the effectiveness of invisible weapon deployments while distributing the risks and costs among multiple partners. Israel's invisible weapon that wins wars without firing a single shot represents a fundamental evolution in military thinking, demonstrating that true strategic superiority lies not in the ability to destroy, but in the capacity to prevent, deter, and neutralize threats before they can materialize. This invisible weapon has proven that intelligence, precision, and strategic thinking can be more powerful than any conventional weapon, offering a model for how smaller nations can defend themselves against larger adversaries while minimizing the human and economic costs of conflict. The legacy of this invisible weapon extends beyond its immediate military applications, influencing everything from international diplomacy to domestic security policy. It has shown that in an interconnected world where information travels instantly and where the consequences of conflict can be global in scope, the ability to resolve disputes without resort to large-scale violence is not just preferable, but essential for maintaining international stability and security. If this incredible story of Israel's invisible weapon that wins wars without firing a single shot has captivated you as much as it has captivated us, please make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts in the comments below. What other examples of invisible warfare or strategic deterrence do you find most intriguing? Do you believe such non-kinetic approaches will become the dominant form of conflict resolution in the future? We'd love to hear your perspective on these critical developments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more secrets of war and incredible stories of the battles and technologies that are shaping our world. Ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode, because we're committed to bringing you the most compelling stories that demonstrate how superior strategy and innovative thinking, combined with unparalleled human ingenuity, can create solutions that endure for generations and prove that true excellence lies not in destruction, but in the wisdom to prevent it.